afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jarrod Horak. This week we're going to talk some Kentucky Derby prep races. The race that we're going to talk about is the Grade 3 Southwest $500,000 race for 3-year-olds. They're going to be going 1 mile and a 16th on the main track at Oaklawn Park on Monday, February 15th. There's a 13 horse field expected. They haven't drawn it yet, but it looks like they're going to get 13 horses. Some of the bigger names collected for Bob Baffert. He won the Sham Stakes. I think he's going to go off the favorite. Bob Baffert's had a lot of success at Oaklawn Park in these Derby prep races, and I think they're gonna bet collected for sure. And he's gonna have to run a bit quicker though. The Sham Stakes wasn't that strong of a field. He didn't earn a great number, but he's gonna take money for Bob Baffert for sure. Discreetness, Gordy, Florida. They finished first and second in the Smarty Jones Stakes at Oaklawn Park. That was a 1 mile prep race for the Southwest. And then Synchrony was third. He's also going to come back in this one. Hopefully there's more speed for Synchrony because he's going to be my top selection. Now, in that race, Discreetness and Gordy, Florida, they were up on the pace throughout. The pace was moderate. They hung in there all the way. They finished first and second. Synchrony, he didn't have a great start. He rallied from 10th place, and he ended up finishing third in that Smarty Jones. That was a good effort. There wasn't a lot of pace. He worked his way through traffic, finished up well. And I like his progression in distance too. He started his career at 6 furlongs, and then he went second time out 7 furlongs, 7.5 furlongs, and then last time in the Smarty Jones, 8 furlongs. So he's had 4 lifetime starts with 2 wins, a second, and a third. Showed that nice late kick last time. Hopefully in the Southwest he gets some more pace help. He's able to rally and get in that exacta. We're gonna make a win in place bet on Synchrony in this race. I really like his chances. I think if he gets enough pace help, he will get the job done this time. So for our $40 wager, we're not just going to bet 20 and 20. We're going to split it. We're going to bet 40% of the money to win, 60% to place. So that'll be $16 to win, $24 to place on Synchrony in the Southwest Stakes on Monday, February 15th at Oaklawn Park. Now also this weekend we have Derby Future Wager Pool number 2. That'll be February 12th through the 14th. And Pool 1, we suggested 3 horses that we said to play to win. Conquest Big E, Greenpoint Crusader, and Sail Ahoy. Sail Ahoy hasn't been on the work tab, so his chances of making the Derby seem pretty slim. Conquest Big E, he finished a disappointing 4th in the Holy Bull Stakes in his last start. But Greenpoint Crusader, maybe that'll be the one that ends up giving us the best chance. He was second in the Holy Bull Stakes. He won the Grade 1 Champagne as a 2-year-old. He was 28-1 in Pool 1. They also had a sire wager in Pool 1. We suggested playing Sire Bernardini. He has multiple horses on that Derby trail. He's 11-1. He was 11-1 for Pool 1. Escandrea, Mor Spirit is his leading runner at this point. 26-1 we got for Escandrea in Pool 1. And then the third sire, Giant's Causeway, Brody's Cause. He's been working out. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. That's his leading runner at this point. And we got 18-1 on Giant's Causeway. Now for Pool 2, I'm going to suggest we're going to play a couple exacta boxes with MOHAYMEN. I've always liked MOHAYMEN. He's been my #1 Derby contender since I started my list last September. And we're going to play him in a couple exacta boxes with a couple new horses that have run some fast races. The first one is Awesome Banner. He won the Hutchison and the Swale sprint races. He earned some good speed figures though, and they're going to try to stretch him out to see if he can get 2 turns. He's 30-1 in Pool 2, so we're going to play MOHAYMEN and Awesome Banner in an exacta box. And then the other new shooter, Dancing Candy from Southern California. He's won his last 2 starts in a 1 mile allowance race at Santa Anita. He was very impressive last time out. They're going to jump into the stakes ranks next and see how good he is, probably the San Felipe Stakes, to see how Dancing Candy stacks up with some of the better 3-year-olds. So we'll play an exacta box with MOHAYMEN and Dancing Candy, and then another one with MOHAYMEN and Awesome Banner in Pool 2. Now MOHAYMEN and Mor Spirit, they've been my #1 and 2 contenders since last October 24th. Now I started my list on September 30th. My top 2 were MOHAYMEN, Samordini, and then Mor Spirit was 3rd. Now the reason I had Samordini so high was first time out, MOHAYMEN and Samordini met each other. They were separated by a half length. MOHAYMEN, obviously he's going on to do some nice things. Samordini, a $900,000 purchase for trainer Linda Rice. That one finished second in his second career start, and then he broke his maiden around 2 turns at Aqueduct in his 3rd start. And then he hasn't run since then, so he hasn't run this year yet. and his chances of making the Derby are probably pretty slim. But MOHAYMEN Mor Spirit, they've been my number 1 and 2, and they both looked really good in their last starts. For MOHAYMEN, his race was the Holy Bull, and he remained undefeated, stalked the pace, pulled clear under a hand ride. That was his best career number so far. And then he came back and worked a strong workout today, 4 furlongs at Gulfstream Park. So he's looking really good for his next start, the Fountain of Youth. I love his professionalism. I like that he can stalk the pace. And that's the kind of horse you want that for the Kentucky Derby, a horse that has that positional speed, can stay out of trouble, has a nice kick, and he has that. And if he continues to progress, he's looking like a strong Kentucky Derby contender at this point. And Mor Spirit as well. He's done nothing wrong. He's run well in all of his starts. I liked him right after his career debut. He's a $650,000 purchase. Escondrea, the sire, for trainer Bob Baffert. First career start, had some trouble. He showed me something right off the bat. Then they stretched him out in a mile race, broke his maiden. They took him to the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs to face Stakes Company when he was a 2-year-old, and wet track. He did all the pace dirty work. Again, he showed a lot of promise in that race. Came back and won the Los Al Futurity. And then the Bob Lewis Stakes, his best effort yet. Last weekend, he was able to stalk that pace. Again, another horse with that positional speed, can stay out of trouble. And he's more of a grinder than MOHAYMEN. MOHAYMEN seems to have a little bit more of that burst of speed. Mor Spirit's more of a grinding type, but he's got that positional speed, and he can just keep that one solid pace going, and that can be dangerous in the Derby as well. He can get up there, stay on the pace. He should be able to continue to get these distances, and he's certainly one that's very promising. So they're my top 2 right now, and hopefully they'll continue to do well on that Derby trail. Now, Nyquist, your 2-year-old champion, is returning in the San Vicente. 7 furlong race, not worth any Derby points. That's on February 15th at Santa Anita Park. He's been training well coming up to his 3-year-old debut, and he's going to have to run faster. His races weren't as fast as a juvenile, but 7 furlongs certainly not going to be any issue for him. He's probably ready. Doug O'Neill is going to have him cranked and ready to run a decent race in his 3-year-old debut. Now, the other Derby prep this week, not worth any points, the Sam Davis at Tampa Bay. And if you go over to HorseRacingNation.com, under the Plays of the Day section for Saturday, February 13th, you're going to see the Sam Davis. So go over to HorseRacingNation.com, Plays of the Day section. I have my written analysis of that Sam Davis. Now, next week, we're going to do the Grade 2 Risen Star on that road to the Kentucky Derby. Aero Force for trainer Mark Cassidy is going to be one of the favorites in that one. Until next week, good luck at the races.